All right. Hey, Greg, check this out. I actually get a break. Terry McKenna is going to come in the hot seat with you, and he's going to be in for a couple heats. So wait a second. Look at this. Out the back, right off the bat, Dave Winchester streaking off the bottom.
Oh.
Nice barrel roll and sneaks in for another little pocket ride. Thank you, Dave Winchester. That's my cue.
There you go. Thank you, Manny. You have a good break, mate. You deserve it. But the buzzer started, and straight out of the blocks was David Winchester from Australia. It just shows he's one of the more powerful, exciting surfers in the world, and saw that straight away. Just the speed and projection he was getting in those waves was great to see. And Winnie opens up and said in the first 30 seconds, let's see what the judges have to say about that. But a good start for Dave Winchester, and look, he's pretty up and running again. We have Jake Stone. He kicks out of that one, so no, I don't think that'll trouble the scorers. But there you go, Jake Stone. But Dave Winchester, he'd be pretty stoked. He's obviously, I think he's got all bases covered. He rides for NMD. He wears the stealth fins, and he is sponsored by Grand Flavour. 3 of the 4. All his sponsors are here watching him closely. They'd be hoping for a great result. And look, Winnie, on his day, he's almost unbeatable, so he could really cause an upset. But there you have Pierre coming in. But as we have Pierre coming in, also into the commentary booth, we have the man, Terry McKenna. Welcome, Tez.
Yeah, thanks, Greg, and g'day, folks. Well, there's a good little shot of PLC. Just trying to negotiate his way up some of those very slippery, mossy rocks here at Fronton. And I tell you what, he has just been on an incredible run. What a purple patch he's been for PLC, folks. He's, just had... well, he started off, of course, with that great result in Puerto Rico. He won Azores. Of course, he's the new ISA World Amateur Champion. And let's see if he can round it off with a win here in Fronton.
Yeah, look, Terry, we just got rider in blue, the Portuguese. If he pulls through that, he'll get some points. But unfortunately, he just gets catch at the end. That's Silvano Lourenço from Portugal. He's surfed very strongly through the trials and very deservedly found himself in the final 32. But yeah, look, Pierre, we've seen it. Very interesting. With 4 riders in contention for the world title, Tez. We all know who they are. GT, Hardy, Hub, and Pierre. 3 of those have surfed now. GT opened up with a win. He'd be happy. Then we had Hub come out. He blitzed his field and he won his heat as well. Pierre got a second, and still Hardy's yet to surf. So let's see what he can do. But very interesting race.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. There's a nice little shot of the boys just folding down some of the Red Bull umbrellas here. The wind, I guess, a little bit stronger, Greg, than was originally forecast. Today the winds are supposed to be light offshore, but we did have a bit of a storm around the back of the mountain, and as a result, the winds kind of just picked up a bit. You can see some of the spectators there just chilling out in the grandstand that they've built here at Fronton. It's quite an amazing little surf city, mate, right on the edge of the cliff here at Galda.
Yeah, no, amazing place, man. It's a natural amphitheatre, as or in its own right, but the infrastructure here is amazing and creates a great atmosphere up there. Sitting there, you said you see Ben Player, he sort of broke away from the riders area. His heat's coming up next, so you can see he's put the earphones on, he's pulled himself away from the rest of the riders. Time to switch on, time to focus. He was only in the commentary booth a couple of minutes ago doing a great job. He's fixing umbrellas. All his jobs are done now. He's here to do business.
Yeah, there you go. He is indeed. All right, well, Galda is quite an amazing little part of the world that we've been here, folks. And here's a little frame by frame of what is that colourful little city at the bottom of the mountain. It is...
That's Galda. That is straight behind us here at El Fronton. It's an amazing view, Terry. When you sit in the water, looking back, that's the mountain you see right at the back. And people line themselves up in the lineup with that mountain. That's where the locals tell you to sit. But, yeah, it's just such a unique landscape. And look at that, that's the little city of Galda. It's perched on the hill, all the windy little streets. And those, what you see there's the banana plantations, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. All the hessian bags across the top there, just trying to shield them from the sun here, which, in the right time of the year gets very, very strong. There's some soccer fields, and give you a little bit of an insight into what it's like here at the NMD Pride Stealth Fronton Pro here in Gran Canaria. There's Mike Stewart just negotiating his way up the cliff face.
Yeah, look, Mike, we spoke a lot about it, Terry, but, you've been on tour a long time, and I know you know Mike well, and who would have thought at this point in the tour we'd be talking about the scenario where Mike Stewart may not re-qualify for the 2012 World Tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, currently in 19th position, just opened up with a 4th place finish. The pressure's on. He needs to make the quarters. So it's amazing.
Yeah, he does. And look, he'd be a little disappointed, of course, and not the sort of start to his campaign that he wanted. He's very focused, very fit at the moment, and we're just back to some live action now as we see that first wave there for yellow. A little bit of a bumpy. Actually, there's one for Winnie as well. So Tom Rigby and Dave Winchester just getting a couple of waves. That there is Silvano Lourenço. Silvano, of course, one of the, he's been one of the real standouts from Portugal for a long time, Greg. He's, he's won the ETB about 3 or 4 years ago. He's backed off out of the competition scene as we see this replay of Dave Winchester and Winnie just driving up and into some of those little Fs, which are, offering some nice little ramps, and that's a nice little air roll there for the Australian. But Silvano, back to Silvano Lourenço. He's running a surf and bodyboard school in Portugal and up in Peniche. So he's been out of the contest scene for a while, but he's back, and I tell you what, he's in fantastic form. He's against the 3 Australians here, and I tell you what, that's a tough ask for anyone.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, look, on the Portuguese, it's so much talent coming out of Portugal, Terry. It's such an important market for bodyboarding, and we just see time after time, new groups of talent coming through, and it's exciting to watch. And look, Silvano, he's powered his way through the trials. He's very deserved to be here, and look, but he wouldn't be out of place in the top 24 in the world, if given the opportunity.
Oh, that's right. Well, he's got his work cut out against guys like Dave Winchester. You can see Winnie on the screen at the moment. The profile of that man from Byron Bay. Around Brunswick Heads, just a little bit north of Byron Bay. 29 years of age, came 9th, of course, in Puerto Rico. Currently sitting on 6th on the IBA Grand Slam Series. But he is just one of the best all-round competitors in the world, that's for sure. Dave Winchester, you can see him looking back into the lineup. He's in the lead at the moment, folks, on the strength of a 6.75 and a 4.5. Tom Rigby's in second. He's comboed. Lourenço's in 3rd place, and Jake Stone sitting in 4th. No one's really got anything apart from Winnie. Conditions out the front there just starting to deteriorate as that wind kind of turns a little more onshore.
Yeah, look, Terry, definitely. We say that. We have a 10-minute flat spell, and then all of a sudden you get a barrage of waves with, that last week there, Guillermo Cobo got, very nice right-hand barrel, plenty of sections still on offer. We've seen Winnie open up with a couple of strong scores, but there's Pierre, sort of talking through his last heat and what happened. He doesn't seem too happy, but so 2nd place, he'd be happy with that. And look at that, you got the sort of the new generation and sort of the original generation behind him there, and it's exciting for the sport to have guys like Pierre coming through. Only 21 years of age, could be our new world champion, which would just be amazing, But look, he's just talking to the crew there, giving them the rundown of what happened and how he saw the heat, and he's talking with his close friend and current world champion, Amaury Laverne.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Pierre was lucky enough to take the title, that'd be 2 years in a row that the Frenchies have come out on top, and that's pretty amazing. You can see he's a little disappointed. He likes to win. He's been on a purple patch, as I said. It's been a while since he hasn't won. So, he's just thinking about where he went wrong and how he can fix it up for the next round. We are currently in heat number 6, though, folks. It's round number 1 of the GSS leaderboard here in Fronton. And who we got coming up in heat number 7, Greg?
Yeah, this keeps getting more and more interesting, Tez. We've got the Brazilian Magno Oliveira takes on Ben Player and Mitch Rawlins from Australia. And then again, one of the trialists, the local Ariam Cabrera, he's through as well. And we saw him all the way into the semi-finals of the trials, and he knows how to surf this wave as good as anyone. But in the water right now, I said Jake Stone yet to get away, but I'm really excited to see what Jake can do, because I said he's got no pressure on him. You could see that he's already qualified for next year. I think he's here to put on a show, and if he gets the opportunity, look out, he could pull off anything.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's Tommy Rigby finally. A nice little section. Good, strong roll. Just getting clipped on the end, and unfortunately that one just pinched and held up Rigby. But, well, we've got a couple of people sending through messages, including Lloyd Llewellyn up there at the Sunshine Coast. He's tuned in to watch his boy Jake Stone. He's got a bit of a shout-out going, so keep your messages coming, folks, at messages at ibaworldtour.com, and we'll do our best to read them out over the online for you.
Yeah, most definitely. It always amazes me the amount of talent that comes out of the sunny coast, but there's Dave Winchester just dropping out of another section. I'm sure we'll catch that replay and see what he did at the start. But yeah, Terry, the amount of talent that comes out of the Sunshine Coast, there's one of the superstars. He's Jake Stone. He's moved over to Western Australia now, but he honed his skills up on the sunny coast. And, many talents have come through. But let's look at Dave Winchester's big invert.
Whoa.
Wow, that is impressive. Look at
That
that.
was
Lands
crazy.
it
Just a
perfectly.
big skyscraping invert there at the start. And I tell you what, judges are going to be loving that thing. That was a 6.25. And it once again extended the lead over the rest of the field. Tom Rigby's last wave that we saw him got pinched on the end was a 4.5. And Riggers, sitting in second now, needs about an 8.5. So a bit of a gap between first and second and the rest of the field as we round off to the 20-minute mark. Here's a little replay of sorts.
And I just let that one go, Terry. But look, there's quite a few exciting developments with the IBA this year, and one of them has been this leaderboard system, and it's been very fascinating to watch it all unravel. But it's so important. If you can just talk through how exactly it works, Terry, like what happens, how does it work, how do you get through to the next stage of competition?
Yeah, well, basically for those people tuning in and that aren't aware of it, basically we have 3 rounds of competition. They're all 4-man heats, and we've got 8 heats in each round. The guys go out and surf their 30-minute heats, and you get awarded points for where you finish in the heat. So 6 points for first, 4 points for second, 2 points for third, and 1 point for fourth position. So effectively what you've got is a leaderboard scenario similar to golf, really, where after each round you add the points up. And when you get to the end of the third round, it's the top 16 that move into the man-on-man part of the competition. And, well, let's see if this guy here can move on through into the top 16. He's been surfing extremely well through the trials, Tom Rigby. Of course, took out the trials at Puerto Rico, picked up the 2,200 points, which in the end really counted for Tom.
Yeah.
And, yeah, well, we'll just see what the judge's interpretation of that one was shortly.
Yeah, but yeah, look, very exciting. Tom Rigby is qualified for next year, but while we've got a lull in the action, let's have a look at an advert from one of our sponsors. Great footage there, and one of the great things about having industry support we do for this event is the adverts are just quality like that. So, normally when you go to an ad, you might go and grab a coffee or anything, but the viewers here, they don't want to leave the screen because you get that amazing ad. I think that was on the NMD ad for Dave Winchester, who's out in the water now. So, a big shout out to NMD Pride and Stealth for supporting this. And look, Grand Flavour as well, Terry. I have to have a word to the boys at Grand Flavour. They haven't decked you out in any gear, but we've been fortunate enough to dress the commentary team up, and they've got the new online store, so grandflavour.com. Hop on there. They've all their new range, and you can order that before Christmas. And I'm not a fashion guru myself, but I'm pretty impressed with the gear they've decked me out with, and I know Manny and Shaggy are stoked as well. But jump online, check out the range. It's amazing stuff.
I've always been a big fan of Grand Flavour. Actually, one of the things that stopped me, I guess, is that they don't. Some of these labels don't make stuff big enough for guys like me. They don't want fat guys to ruin the image of the gear. But I'm going to have they're going to have to make a custom-made shirt for me. That's for sure. We're currently watching the rider in the blue singlet from the next heat. That is, of course, Aaron Cabrera. He'll be making his way down to take on Magna Oliveira, Benny Player, and Mitch Rawlins. Let's have a look at the leaderboard as it stands here, folks, in Fronton after this, what has been a very, very interesting day of competition for round number 1 of the GSS leaderboard. Well, as we can see, Greg, there's a couple of guys that have won their heat so far. We've had Jared Houston, Jeff Hubbard, Kobo, Elliot Morales, and GT have all come out on top. As we mentioned before, the way the system works is you get 6 points for first, 4 points for second. You've got Valadeo, Dallas Singer finishing in second, Pinheiro, Amore Laverne, Cabrera, Alonso, and Genesis Reyes finishing in third spot. And finishing in fourth spot with Joey Clark, along with a couple more guys here that we'll see. Picking up the 1 point, Andrew Lester. Poor old Lester, he'd surfed 4 times this morning, and he was that elated to make next year's Grand Slam series that he just said, bugger it, I've got nothing left in the tank. Kevin Oliwela and Mike Stewart, along with Gustavo and Trudeau. So that is the current leaderboard, folks. There's a beautiful overview shot of the reef here at Fronton. Greg, I was up in the competitors area early, and I tell you what, there's some guys with some bumps and scrapes on them. It's so shallow out there, and you know, these guys really going for it, and this is such a dangerous reef here at Fronton.
Oh, it's very shallow, and I think, yeah, I mentioned earlier, I saw Ed Luciano had a nasty cut on his eye, and yeah, it's very shallow. We could kind of forget about this, and the waves, they're in the sort of 4 foot range today, and normally wouldn't give it a lot of thought, but these guys, they're flipping, they're ARS, they're punting off these with no consideration for their health or well-being, and when it's going to get interesting, Tez, the exciting thing is back end of the contest window, we've got some big swells forecast. And it's going to come down. That's where the world title is going to be decided, where people are going to be putting it all on the line. And wow, I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks amazing on there. Around about the 12th of December, folks, we've got a real big swell coming through the Atlantic, heading towards GC, where we are here at Galdar. And come say December 13, 14, maybe anywhere from the 11th all the way through to the end of the waiting period, we're going to have some incredible conditions. So what we're doing is setting ourselves up for the best possible finish to what has been an incredible year for the IBA. Some of the guys that have really enjoyed it as well are the wedge crew over there in South Africa, just saying well done to their man Jerry and carry on ripping. So g'day to all those guys from Pleth, and also Diego from Portugal is currently tuned in. He's watching the webcast. He said, go Silvano, Lourenço, of course, his man. We got Andy online at the moment. He's saying a big up to the South Kurnow crew. That's in Cornwall in UK, I do believe. And Georgie Gonzalez, of course, is watching the action as well. Good on you, Jorge. We love you. We love it that you love it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, good global representation there, Terry. And it's been such an amazing year. And 2012 shaping up to be bigger and better. And look, there's a new calendar out. We've just launched it, and it's on the IBA online shop. So you jump online, www.IBA World Tour. But before we go to that, Dave Winchester's going to have a look at this one. Right, a little ARS out of that. He's trying to he's trying to better a 6.25, which I'm not sure if that will do. But yeah, back on the calendar, Terry. What we've got next year's schedule. It's all been penned down. It's in print, and it's been combined with some of the best images we've had from the year. So you've got amazing shots from Mexico, amazing shots from Pipeline, Chile. It just that alone would be the reason to buy it. But not only that. It has the exclusive, it's the only place in the world you can get the information on the location and dates of next year's tour. Men's Grand Slam, the Global Qualifying Series, the women's and the drop knee. So the media doesn't even know. So when I tell you what the schedule is, jump online, buy yourself a Christmas present, buy your brother a Christmas present, and just keep it for yourself. Whatever you've got to do, jump online to ibaworldtour.com, online shop, grab yourself one of those, and it'll get you set for next year. You can plan your year knowing what's happening and where to be.
What a great little thing to throw in a Christmas stocking, folks. And those images from Sasha Specker this year have just been outstanding. I'm sure that you've seen a lot of them online. And, the best of those shots are going to be featuring in that calendar, as we see right now. Well, just mixing it up. Nice little combination surfing. Now, I tell you, he's had a very slow start to his heat here, Jake Stone. He's sitting in 4th place. He only needed 5.35. And we might even try and dig back into the hard drive and see if we can find a replay of that, because it was only a small wave, but nice little combination surfing there from Jake Stone.
But up and riding, top Rigby. This is a nice section. Whoa, he lost his board. Great section. It seemed to rush up on him, the section. I don't think he was prepared. And it sent him flying, but now Winnie's up and right on the left, Terry.
Yeah, well, there's Dave Winchester currently leading the heat, and that's the sort of form that's taken Winnie into first place. He's holding on to a 6.75 and a 6.25. Not too sure if that one's going to knock out one of those scores, but this is a better one here for Lourenço, and that's a frothy beast here at Fronton. Just a little tiny invert at the end there for Silvano. We'll see what the judges thought about that last flurry of rides. And we'll wait for those scores to come through for Jake Stone, of course, who's currently sitting in 4th spot. As we mentioned, only needs a 5.35. Hails from up on the Sunshine Coast. There's his score, 4.35. So it moved him up 1 spot. But that's the profile of that kid. He's a real character, Jake Stone, isn't he, Greg? He's 21 years of age from Maroochydore. Finished 5th at the Encanto Pro in Puerto Rico. Currently sitting on 11th on the IBA World Grand Slam Series.
Yeah, look, Jake Stone, one of the true characters of the sport. And look, he's only 21, which is exciting. There's that crop of 21-year-old riders that are coming through. we speak about Jake Stone. There's Pierre-Louis Costes. There's Jared Houston. That they're all there tossing. They're only 21 years of age. They're the future of bodyboarding, and they're already got a great rivalry up. And then you've got guys like Tom Rigby here. I believe he's only 20 years of age, Terry, and he's on the world tour next year as well. So it's very, very exciting. But Jake Stone, look, he's one of the true characters and innovators of the sport. I just can't wait for him to get a good section, because I'm sure he's going to go for something big. And his mentor, Eppo, the legend himself, back in the sunny coast, I'm sure he's watching. And he's the guy who mentors Jake Stone, and he's the one who was doing all the innovative moves in the time. Here we go. It's Jake Stone right now, I believe.
Yeah, well, have a look at that. And I tell you what, scores, I'm going to be interested. Did he hang on to this? That's the big question. He did. Got a little bumped off at the end there. Let me just see if he rides through this cleanly. And, well, it's great determination. We're going to see, what sort of score drops for that. But, yeah, a lot of originality, a lot of inventiveness. I mean, these are the words that come to mind when you think of Jake Stone. And like I said, he's a funny bugger as well. He's got a great sense of humour. And, regularly, very casual leading into a heat. He's joking around and, but when the hooter goes and he puts the gloves on, he means business. So, he's got a great demeanour for competition. Similar to Dave Winchester, I guess, too, who, those guys from the North Coast there are all pretty casual sort of by nature.
Yep.
And, that's just a sort of you're a product of your environment, I guess. And Jake Stone has moved up into second spot, folks. That last wave was a 5.0. Judges must have thought that he got a little caught up there, so I kind of thought that he might have got a little higher score than that, but I guess what happened was, you got to ride out of those moves cleanly, and he did get caught up in the suds. Right now, he's looking for an 8.0 to take the lead off Winnie. Tommy Rigby sitting in third spot, folks, and Silvano Lourenço holding down fourth position with just on 8 minutes remaining.
It's still very open. Here's Silvano pulling into this one. You can see the frustration. Unfortunately, the opportunity didn't present itself. But Silvano, look, there's still 7.5 minutes to go. He only needs a 5.5 to jump into second position. So, still plenty of time, and he has the potential to do that. And as I said, one of the great products of Portugal, and I'm sure he's got a big fan base following. But look, let's do a shout out to Shaggy. He's got the last heat winner with him right now. Over to you, Shaggy. Where you at?
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Guillermo Cobo, the winner of the last heat. Guillermo, felicidades con tu primer lugar.
Gracias.
¿Cómo te sientes a ganar tu primera manga en la IBA este año?
Pues la verdad es que me siento muy feliz de por fin ganar una manga. Nunca había estado contigo aquí hablando, así que ya me tocaba. Y nada, me salió muy bien la manga, conseguí hacerme un buen tubo y un buen invertido y pasé la manga.
He's just saying, I asked him how does it feel to win your first heat on this year's GSS, and he was like, yeah, really good, good to see you up here. And then he said, yeah, you got his good waves. Dicemos de tu tubo, profundo.
Sí, bueno, no fue muy profundo, pero bueno, las condiciones vemos que no están muy bien, así que cualquier tubo pues indica que va a ser un score alto. Así que yo bajé esa ola, me cuadró el tubo y bueno, tuve un score de un 7.8 creo, y eso me ayudó a conseguir los puntos de primero.
He was very modest. Yeah, it wasn't really that deep, he said, but got him a 7.8, and in the conditions here, he said it was good. So, and it gave him his first place.
Thank you.
Felicidades. ¿Quieres decir algo a tus amigos en el internet?
Claro, por supuesto. Quiero saludar a toda la gente que me está siguiendo así por internet. Darle un saludo y nada, darle las gracias por estar ahí al otro lado. Gracias.
De nada. Gracias. Back to you guys.
Shaggy and a very stoked local man there, Guillermo Cobo. It's great to see him up on the stage. He said he's had a mixed year, but he really brought his A game here today, and great to see. You've seen the locals really stand up here. You had Elliot Morales winning his heat, and then you have Guillermo Cobo. He's won his heat, and we've still got a couple more locals to come. Ariam Cabrera, and still in heat 7, and 2 more locals, Ure Martinez and Nelson Mora in heat 8. So they're the ones to beat here, Terry. Once it gets down to man on man, I don't think anyone wants to draw one of the locals, especially one of those world title contenders.
No, that's right. They have the home turf advantage, and I tell you what, given the fact that it's a real headland here, this reef, I thought it would be a bit more mechanical, but it's not. It's random, and it depends on which way the swell comes along, and there's so many variables to this reef here, and as a result, it's a bit hard to read. And being a local and having a bit of water time here at this reef is a distinct advantage.
Oh, for sure.
So
Terry.
we are down to 5 minutes remaining, folks. Dave Winchester still in the lead. He's still got that 6.75 and 6.25. Jake Stone got a 5.1 on that last wave, has reduced it now to a 7.9 to take the lead. Tommy Rigby's in third. He needs about a 5.6 to go up a spot, and Silvano Lourenço chasing a 6.25 to go to second. So that's the current situation on screen.
Yeah, no, most definitely, Terry. And so we sit here, we've got Silvano paddling for this one. It's only a little one, but they tend to build across here. You'll be looking for a section to hit, and look at the frustration. He's frustrated. But look, the great thing with this system, he gets 2 more shots at the title. When I say the title, it's just 2 more shots to surf in this event. But we just saw Tom Rigby try a big flip and just got caught and didn't ride through it, unfortunately. But yeah, look, the great concept here is that you can come 3rd or 4th in your first heat and you get a second chance. You get 3 chances to show the world, what you've got, and I think that's what makes the riders more content on spending the money to come on the other side of the world to compete in these events.
Yeah, that's right.
They know they're going to surf more than once, and sometimes you just can be unlucky in a heat, and it kind of takes that element out, Terry.
Oh, absolutely. Look, it works out well for the spectators. They get a chance to see their favourite rider 3 times. It works out good for the riders. They get, multiple chances to, try and progress through to that next round. And, it makes it just, something different as well, because we didn't want to follow the lead of the surfing guys. We just thought, let's make up a format that's totally unique to bodyboarding. And, at the moment, we are looking at ways to even improve this system for 2012. We have identified a couple of areas that we might make some sort of key changes to, but in general, I think it's going to remain fundamentally the same, but maybe some of the point structure and stuff will change a little bit next year.
Yeah, definitely, Terry. And hats off. They said you were one of the the key drivers of that innovation, and I think it's been one of the great assets that have come to the sport. It's made it such an exciting year on tour, and again, thank you, and thank you from all for making it such a taking our sport to the next level, because it's great, and I haven't met a rider who's not happy. So
thank you, mate. No, I tell you what, after years of cruising around as the tour manager, I saw so many guys rock up, travel halfway across the world, and just have a bit of a shocker, and they'd pack up and go home, and people would come down the beach and go, is Mike Stewart here or whatever, and I'd go, he bombed out this morning, he had to bail out. And, that's what got us all thinking. Craig Haddon and I and a few of the guys that, helped to put this leaderboard system together. We thought, how can we, showcase this sport a bit better? How can we give it a unique sort of a flavour? And mate, hats off to you as well for, taking us to the next level. So it's awesome. Right now, though, they're just sitting like a little bunch of Skittles out in the lineup. You could throw a blanket over these guys. Dave Winchester in the lead, Jake Stone in second, Tom Rigby's in third, and Silvano Lourenço is currently in 4th place. With about 2 minutes remaining, 5.6 Rigby would take him up to second. 6.25 would take Silvano to second, and a 7.9 would give Jake Stone the lead. But it is that man holding inside on the far right there, Dave Winchester, who once again is one of the most consistent bodyboarders on the planet, mate, whether it's drop knee or it's prone, whether he's in a special event or a GSS or a national tour event, he's just very, very hard to beat.
And no, most definitely, Terry. Look, we've got Jake Stone having a look at this one. He's building a nice right-hand section. Will it create it for him? Here it goes. Just off the back. Yeah, get a little bit funky like that, Terry. You'll see some of the riders fall off the back, and of course it's coming from all different directions, and it's very hard to time. But while we're counting down the 1 minute, Terry, I'd like to thank you for joining us, giving Manny a break. But now we will invite Jared Houston in. But any last words?
No, just keep watching the webcast. We've, as Greg mentioned, we've got an incredible forecast coming for the next week. We're going to finish on such a big high on this tour, and thanks to all those people in there in Webland who have tuned into the webcast. And have yourself a great one. We'll be seeing you tomorrow sometime. Thank you. Cheers, Terry. Thank you very much. So we've got down to the last 30 seconds here, and Dave Winchester's still in the lead. He's in first position with a 13.0. Jake Stone in second, and look, he needs a 7.9 to jump into first. But he's winning up and riding now, and he's trying to better a 6.25, so I'm not sure if that will happen. So let's see what they say. But 20 seconds to go. Silvano Lourenço's got up. He needs a 6.25, but that's not going to do it for him, unfortunately.